My name is Nick Green, trail name Hollywood. Before I started my 2020 Thru-Hike of the Appalachian Trail, I scoured the internet far and wide for every video I could possibly find on gear and beyond. And now, having completed that unbelievable experience that is an AT Thru-Hike, I can honestly say that gear is unbelievably important, but even more personal. So there's nothing anybody could say, including me, that could make up your mind for you about what gear is right for you. However, I did receive so many lovely little nuggets from people beforehand by watching their videos. Just little trail hacks that really served me well out there. So if I can offer some of my experiences to you, and maybe you learn a little bit of something that you didn't quite expect or know before, well, I think that's probably worthwhile. So here it is, and I will say that I made a documentary series, a 7-part series out there that I will put a link to, and it was called PackAndSoul. I met a very wise hiker named No Rush who told me, if you can't carry it in your pack or in your soul, you don't need it. It's pretty good, huh? So what's in your soul? That's kind of up to you to decide. But what's in your pack, I guess we can talk about right now. So let's get going. All right, the first thing we should point out is the actual pack. I had an Osprey Atmos 65. Kind of cutting to the chase here. I absolutely loved this pack. It was a little heavier than what a lot of people had out there, but it carries the weight extremely well. And because I brought my camera equipment with me, my pack was a little bit heavier than some other psychos who carry 12-pound packs all in type of thing. But I knew my pack was going to be a little bit heavier, and the Osprey with its anti-gravity system, anti-gravity, I don't know what that means, but it does work. It was phenomenal, and it felt really, really comfortable. I would say the only real issue I had with it is the hip belt pockets. You kind of have to go real far back in order to open and close. You kind of got to do this motion right here, and that was a little cumbersome at moments, but I did get used to it, and once the zippers loosened up, over time, it wasn't really that big of a deal. However, this pack, phenomenal, durable. And look, here it is, it's still standing. Okay, great. So that's the pack. Let's go inside. I would keep my food on top because as a hiker hunger is real. It is absolutely real. You are insatiably hungry the entire time. So food on top. I started out with an Ursack that a bear stole 2 weeks into the trail. And I actually wrote Ursack. I gave them my sob story, and they were so lovely. They were wonderful. They said, hey man, we want you to keep going on. We're going to send you a brand new Ursack. So they did. They sent me a brand new Ursack, and I used it for a long time. And it's great because you could just you don't have to hang it. You just wrap it around a tree. There it is. But it became a little bit heavy as the time went on, and a light hiker is a happy hiker, despite what I just said about carrying a pack a little bit heavier. So I did get rid of the Ursack, even though I love it. I continue to use it today. And I went to the just dry bag system. This is a 20-liter Sea to Summit dry bag, and it worked perfectly. I kept all of my food in here. And again, as you keep going, your hiker hunger increases to an unbelievable point. You have abhorrent eating habits. So this thing was super, super full and heavy. But a day or two in, you start dwindling away your food supply, and it gets a little bit better. My cook system was I had an MSR pocket rocket, which again was absolutely lovely, thoroughly enjoyed it. However, at about, I want to say New York or something. No, Pennsylvania, about halfway through Pennsylvania, I ditched my cook system. Now, the reason I ditched my cook system was because of weight. again, anything you could do to shed an ounce, you're gonna do it. But while I had it, it was beautiful, it worked well. I'm not the type of person that drinks coffee or anything in the morning. I was only really using it to heat up my dinners at night. So I decided I'm gonna go to a cold soak system where you just use, actually, the best way I found was to use a Talenti jar, an old ice cream Talenti jar. You get to eat the gelato, which is good, first of all. And then it just becomes a wonderful little container, little vessel for you to carry all your food around in. You pour water in there with your dried goods if you want to cook them, and you just let it sit for a while, and you eat it cold. It's not really cold. It's cold soaking, but it is room temperature, outside temperature, whatever, and it tastes just as good for me. So I used the Talenti jar. Again, got rid of my MSR Pocket Rocket, not because I didn't like it. It was phenomenal, just because I wanted to save a little bit of weight. This is the isobutane, it's called? Yeah. So this, I think, is the 8 ounce. They have a 4 ounce too, and the 4 ounce was totally fine with me. That would last a couple of weeks before I had to ditch it and get a new one. So that is the cook system here. This was my pot. It was a Tokes 900 milliliter pot. Yeah, lighter. I kept in here as well. Lighter is important for obvious reasons. I kept it right with my cook system. Ziploc bags will become your absolute best friend. It honestly, once now coming back to the real world, you realize how many Ziploc bags you just throw away, and it's disgusting. It really is, because they last you months and months of constant use, and we just throw it away after one. And it's something I've really tried to rectify in my life. Just carry Ziploc bags. Side note also, I proposed to my girlfriend at the end of the trail at Katahdin. She came to meet me to do, the final summit. And I brought a ring, the engagement ring with me from Pennsylvania all the way to Maine in the Ziploc bag. And it was fine. So if you could do that, you could carry a Ziploc bag around for a little bit longer than a day. Okay. My fork, spoon. This is a wonderful asset. I had a Sea to Summit. This is Vargo. I'm not even quite sure what that is, honestly. But it was a titanium spoon, which is wonderful. It's fine. You always think you lose it too. Like, that's the most, where's my spoon? I lost my spoon. I always lose your fork or spoon. But just keep it with your food in your Ziploc bag or something, and you'll be able to find it. Another thing I would keep with my food is I would get a lot of these little like airplane bottles of liquor. I'd go into town, just go to a liquor store or something like that and buy 5 or 6 of these things or something and carry them around. I started with a flask, which was great, but then I realized, well, I don't really need it. I could just buy these, and then when I'm done, toss them. Lighten the load, so to speak. Wet the whistle at the end of the night. So that's my food bag. Next, I have my all my clothing. So this is another Sea to Summit 20-liter bag, dry bag, and it's phenomenal. Lasted me very, very well. No holes, nothing like that. Same with the food bag. And I would keep in here my Nano Puff. This was an REI Nano that was wonderful. I would wear it at camp or at night when it got really cold. This is wonderful, nice and lightweight. I had like a little knockoff Under Armour type thing that I would wear at night. And the reason I had a long sleeve, by the way, it's like a lightweight long sleeve, is because when I'm sitting around a campfire and there's a bunch of bugs and things like that, a nice long sleeve, lightweight, even in the summer months, something long sleeve to keep the bugs away from you is, for me, it was integral. I carried bug spray, especially throughout the summer months, but like it felt like the black flies especially are attracted to the bug spray. So no matter what you put on, God, it would get you. They fall into your eye. I felt something go into my eye and I tried to get it out, wouldn't. Like 3 hours later, a black fly pops out of my eyeball. That's kind of stuff you're going to be dealing with. So anything to keep the bugs away, in my opinion, is a good idea. I'd carry my socks. I had Darn Tough socks. I cannot say enough good things about Darn Tough. I started with Smart Wool, and they're great. They're clearly good quality socks, but you're gonna go through them. You're gonna get holes in them. You're gonna chafe them away. And I wrote Smart Wool because all the Darn Tough people were telling me, hey man, you could just return your Darn Toughs when you get a hole in them at any participating retailer, which was all of them, and just get a brand new pair for free. So I wrote Smart Wool. I was like, hey, do you guys do this? And they very, very curtly said no. So I got rid of Smart Wool and I switched over to Darn Toughs, and I will forever be a Darn Tough supporter because they are phenomenal. Their customer support is phenomenal. The socks are fantastic, and go Darn Tough. 2 pairs of socks I had, by the way. One I would hike in, and the other one I would use for camp, and I never switched them because it would just get gross after a while. I would then replace my hiking ones and keep my camp ones. Keep rotating them. Does that make sense? Cool. Underwear, I started with these Noble Titans. Super cool company. They're great. I just ended up not ever wearing underwear. On trail anyway. I'll go over clothing in a little bit later, but I had these like Goodwill Nike running shorts that had kind of like a net inside, so I never needed to wear underwear. However, these were great in town when you have to wear loaner clothes or something like that. A good pair of underwear, that's key. I had some Patagonia long underwear for the cold nights. My Buff, which was a cool little, my friend's dad works for Survivor, so they got like a cool Survivor buff. That was really fun to carry around and totally versatile. These were some REI, I think like Sahara convertible pants, something like that. And I love these also for camp nights, just sitting around the camp and not having the mosquitoes or being warm or something like that. These were wonderful. I never hiked in these. I only ever hiked in those little Goodwill Nike running shorts, but these were lovely to have around camp and sleep in when it gets cold. And then I would keep my little toiletries in here. All I had for toiletries was toothbrush, small toothpaste, and nail clippers. That's it. That's all you need. I don't really know what else you need. I did not have deodorant. You're going to smell. It's going to be terrible. No amount of deodorant is ever going to thwart that. So I would recommend cut the ounce. You don't need it, and makes you a little more BA in my opinion. Cool. So that was my camp stuff. You know what? I'll just go over the rest of my clothing right now. This was a Mountain Hardwear shirt that I wore the entire time. 143 days in a row, 4.5 months, I wore this shirt. And it still kind of has that musk to it, which I absolutely love. I'll never forget it. I still wear it when I go out now. So Mountain Hardwear, it was fantastic. A lot of people wore just the dry fit shirts and things like that, which whatever, whatever's going to fit you, you'll like. I enjoyed this because you can roll them up. It can be sleeveless, or whatever, half sleeve, full sleeve. You can open up the button right here and get some ventilation on your little chesticles there. Listen, you're wearing something every single day. You probably want to be comfortable in it. That being said, you can find a lot of really good deals. Just go to Goodwill, go to a secondhand store, whatever you can find. Just get something that's comfortable. You're wearing it you're like a cartoon character. You're wearing it every day. So get something you enjoy. Let's keep going. My sleeping bag, my whole sleep system, I loved. This was a Nemo Disco 15 degree sleeping bag, and it was great. It was lovely. I started May 10th in Georgia at Springer, and it was still very cold. By the time I got up to Vermont, like Connecticut, Vermont, it got really cold again. And I like a good sleep system, so I'm okay carrying a little bit more weight just to sleep more comfortably. I did mail this home once I got, Virginia or something like that. I mailed this home, and then I just used like a little camping sheet or something like that. But then I got it back, and like not too soon at all because I was already starting to get really, really cold and just shivering through the night. Really nice hikers. Let you cuddle up with them. Don't do that, it's gross. Anyway, this was it. This was my Nemo. This is a Nemo Tensor regular wide sleeping pad. I have a lot of Nemo gear, and I have that for a reason. They're just such a wonderful brand, super high quality, and if anything ever breaks, they'll just send you a new one. This is like, I think my second or third one that I've had in my life because they just keep sending you new ones if anything goes wrong, and you wear it into the ground. It's going to be gross. I had like mold on my other ones. They really took care of their hikers. So I had the Nemo Tensor regular wide. extra comfy. And again, I'm okay carrying a little bit more weight with my sleep system because I want to be comfortable at night. Sleeping is really important. Hiker Midnight is at 9 p.m. and I want to be sleeping at 9 p.m. I don't want to be tossing and turning on something hard. So I had that, and I even had a little fancy pillow. This is a Nemo pillow, and again, super comfortable. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. So Nemo, the way to go. Good sleep system, the way to go. If you're a hammocker, cool, as long as you enjoy it. If you're a tent person, cool. Just enjoy your sleep system. Don't let anybody talk you into something just because they do it. Try it out first. Moving right along. This was part of my camera gear, which I will go over a little bit later. And then to our tent. Nemo again. This was a Nemo Hornet 2-person tent. Now it's a 2-person tent, which really means for 1 person comfortably, you can squeeze 2 in there, but my fiance is not too happy when we do that. Anyway, Nemo Hornet 2P. I had the footprint as well, which was lovely. Kept the rain out perfectly. I have no complaints about this. A little mouse got chewed through one of the sides, and I wrote Nemo, sent it in. This is after the trail. Sent it in. They patched it up, sent it right back to me, no charge. That's the kind of service you're going to get from outdoor brands specifically. So they love their loyal customers. Find something you like and be loyal to it. Again, if you notice, Ziploc bags. The bag it came in kind of ripped, so you just put it in a big Ziploc, and that's perfect. Okay, there are the poles right there. This is a compactor bag, and I never could quite remember if it was a compactor or contractor bag. I don't honestly know really what the difference is. I believe this was a compactor bag. Maybe one's bigger and more durable. I don't know. But it worked great. I used 2 of them. So I used one for half and one for the other half, and it held up so perfectly. Another thing that's why do we go through these things so rapidly in our normal life when they last forever? So kept the rain out really nicely. Nothing inside ever really got wet. Your bag's going to get soaked. You're going to have soakingness everywhere. That makes sense. You know what I'm talking about. You're going to be soaked, but inside your bag should not be, because this thing's going to help. Now let's go inside. This was a headlamp. I used a couple of different ones. This was an Energizer headlamp that actually a buddy gave me because mine was running out, and he came to visit me, and he said, here, just take mine. When you get up in the middle of the night and you're in a shelter, you don't really want to wake everybody up with your bright lights. So get the one with the red inside, or the green, or that other light color. Extra batteries were really important. This was an extra lighter, I suppose. Brought a little medicine kit. I had really, really bad shin splints about a month or so in, so I had to wrap all the time. Your vitamin I, your ibuprofen, which I tried to limit, but sometimes you just need it. I also have, I'm like an old man. I'm an old Jew. I had really bad heartburn. My bubby would be proud. And so I brought some heartburn pills, some allergy pills, and I actually didn't ever need any of it. I think your body really reacts to moving all the time and being in top physical condition. So I never really needed my heartburn pills, or my allergy pills. So I think I sent those home actually after a while. This is phenomenal. This is called Flex Power. This is my friend's company, same as Noble Titan, friend's company, and they are a pain relief, scent-free organization, and you just rub it on. It's like an icy hot Tiger Balm type thing, and it was so great. It really worked wonderfully. So anytime my shin splints were acting up or something else was certain, rub it on, and it felt really good. So that's that. This was my first aid, my medicine kit. This is a Gear Aid rope to hang your bag, your food bag, or to hang some clothing to let dry, something like that. Totally versatile. I really recommend having this with you. Let's head into some water system stuff. All right, cool. So I had a 3-liter Camelback. I was actually super surprised to see that not very many people carry Camelbacks out there, and I don't know why, because it's totally convenient and ideal, and just makes everything easier in my opinion. So I carried this, And what I would do is fill it up the night before, so I can fill it up the night before so I could just get out and go during the day. I would fill up about 1.5 liters of this, and then 1 liter of my smart water, which I'll get to in a moment and why that bottle is so important. And then I was pretty much good to go the rest of the day with 3 liters. I might fill up if I'm like super thirsty, but it was really an ideal situation to have my CamelBak. My filtration system, I learned this while I was out there, and it was the best system that I found anybody having. Okay, so I had a Sawyer squeeze, which was wonderful, and it gave me all the wonderful water I ever needed. I didn't ever have giardia or anything like that. No illnesses from the water, so it really, I guess it worked. And what I would do was this. Okay, the Sawyer bags that they come with, sometimes they're a little bit weak. They'll puncture, they don't fill up really easily, on and on and on. This is phenomenal. Their bags, in my opinion, can use a little work. I'm sure they'll come out with a better system, or just partner with this company. This is CNOC. This is a CNOC 3 liter, which was a big one. Some people had the 2 liter, but if I'm going down to get water, I'm gonna get it one time. So a 3 liter bladder thingy that you would just scoop right up in a lake, river, any sort of water source, stream, something like that. If the water is really low, you can use this to scoop and pull out the puddles, that sort of thing. And here's how this thing works. It's a gravity system. So what you would do is fill up the dirty water in here, stick your Sawyer squeeze as such. You order this extra little blue attachment thingy to go on the edge here, because our beautiful, lovely, versatile, smart water bottle goes right on this end, like so. And you turn it all the way and then let it go just a little bit, because you don't want it completely air sealed, no water will get through, and you hang it from a tree. So all of your water from dirty through the filter into clean is being treated right there in a gravity system. You let it sit, you walk away, you can do whatever you gotta do, you come back. If you ever wanna stop it, you just turn it and that will stop it just like that. Now, here's an even cooler part. Once you take this off, you can turn this over and squeeze that, and it back flushes your Sawyer. So all-in-one system, super lovely. If you have any questions, please reach out and I can go over that again. That might have been a little bit quick, but the smart water bottle is what everybody uses. And again, it's one of those things that's like, why are we throwing these things away after one use? There was numerous people who had the same exact smart water bottle from beginning to end. That's a little bit much, and I didn't do that. I got one every month or so, but they last forever. It's really a wonderful way to go. Okay, this was my rain jacket. Now, I started off with one of those Frog Togs ponchos that like fit your bag into it, and I was really excited about it, and it worked. It kept me dry. There were 2 issues with it. One is that it's a bit cumbersome to put on over your pack by yourself. I always had to have like a little somebody help me, and if there's nobody there, which typically there wasn't, that'd be an issue, and that's kind of tough. I switched out my Frog Togs, and then just during the summer months didn't have any rain gear, and then when it started getting cold, I got this again. I had somebody mail it to me. Oh, the other problem with the Frog Togs is that it gets really hot. So in the summer months, you're kind of hot. So you're like, do I want to be wet? Do I want to be hot? Well, I don't want to be either. So a nice rain jacket was kind of the way to go. This was an REI Duck's Back, I believe it's called, pack cover. Just went right over the pack really nicely. Again, no complaints. Your pack's gonna get wet, it'll dry, that's fine. Just make sure the things inside try to stay as dry as possible. I carried a little Gerber knife with me. Here's a little guy. Hey, little guy. Little Gerber knife with me. People always talk about protection on the trail, and like, it could be dangerous, certainly. Is this going to help you? Maybe. Is a gun going to help you? Maybe. Is it going to be really heavy? Yes, and that's kind of all you care about as a thru hiker. So I felt completely safe the whole time. In any case, this helped me just cut a rope or cut some food, or yeah, if I'm feeling a little bit wary about something maybe at nighttime, which I never did, okay, maybe the knife will be beneficial. So that is that. My shoes. Okay, the most popular shoe on trail by far are Crocs. There they are, the official Appalachian Trail shoe. These aren't even Crocs actually. I had some Crocs and I also had some knockoffs as well. They were like $2 and either one worked fine. Some people walk around in their darn toughs. Some people wear flip-flops. Whatever you want to do is fine. My recommendation is Crocs. Probably the most important part of your gear are your shoes. They are your engine, your vehicle, this is what is going to make your trip or break your trip, in my opinion. I mentioned that I got really, really bad shin splints the first month and a half or so in, and I attribute that to my shoes. They were running thin, and I just didn't replace them. And I kind of tried to save a buck and tried to stretch them for as long as I could, and I ended up paying the price. So I had Brooks Cascadias, which I loved Brooks for a long time, but I got rid of those shoes and I tried the new Brooks on, and they were just really thin. They were like for runners more than trail runners, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. So I got rid of the Brooks and I came across my favorite shoe ever. These are La Sportiva Wildcats. And I absolutely loved these shoes. They're perfect for me. They don't have a high arch or anything like that, so I liked it for that. They dry very quickly. They're super comfortable. They're super durable. I cannot say enough nice things about the La Sportiva Wildcats. For me, this is, I think, my like fourth pair or something that I got because I want to snatch them up before they change the model or something like that, and I don't like them anymore. So, La Sportiva Wildcats. I did not wear a hat or sunglasses one time. Never wore them on trail. You're in a green tunnel most of the way, and I didn't need it. So I brought a hat and I brought sunglasses. I sent the hat home very quickly, and I kept the sunglasses for in town and things like that. But, you know, I don't know. I suppose you can if you want to, but you don't need to, in my opinion. Okay, let's go over a little bit of my camera gear. So, filming with the camera that I brought on trail with me. It's an A6400, and we'll do a little bit of a reverse view. But this thing was a 3-liter Osprey dry bag, and it was perfect for all my little electronics. So what electronics did I bring? This thing, which was super ideal, Philips, but a lot of brands sell them. It's a little block, a little cube with 3 USB ports. So this was wonderful when I go into town and like I just want to charge everything really quickly, charge my phone, charge my external battery pack, charge a battery to my camera all at once. Really ideal. This was my external battery pack. This is a 20,100 mAh Anchor battery pack, and this thing was a beast. And it's like pretty heavy. You can do curls with it. But it lasted me probably about, 5 or 6 days at a time before I had to recharge it. So really beneficial to have this. And I kept my phone on airplane mode the entire time. I took some video and pictures with my phone, so I didn't want to turn it off. But airplane mode mixed with this, and it's a super advantageous way to go about your electronics, in my opinion. I brought 3 batteries with me for my camera, and I did not need really any more than that. It was totally fine. Newer, Sony, whatever, anything that really works for you is good. I brought one little charger thing for my camera, and I brought, this is an SD card holder, kept it from getting wet, things like that. And Hansky is the brand, and it worked. Again, even inside of the dry bag, I kept our good old friend, the Ziploc bag, just for an extra layer of protection, because I didn't want any of my electronics to get wet, soggy, anything like that, and break on me. Okay, let's see. I have my little cheat sheet right here. Let's see if I missed anything. My watch. This is important. This is my Casio F91W. Beautiful watch. It's like QVC here. and it was great. It was a watch. It woke me up in the morning when I needed it. It told me the time. There you go. That's all you need from a watch, and that's what it did for me. One thing I didn't mention was toilet paper. I had toilet paper in of course, our Ziploc bag. I also had baby wipes with me, and you're not supposed to bury baby wipes underneath the ground or throw them in a privy, that sort of thing. But when I went into town, it was a really good idea to freshen up a little bit. Poles. These are my poles. And if you look at these poles, you'll understand how I feel about poles. I got these because I found them somewhere after I lost a pole that I was using by taking batting practice with a rock and then it breaking and it flinging 30 feet into a lake somewhere. So the trail provides. I needed a pole and I got 2 poles. So there you go, and I'm using them ever since. If you want to buy, $180 Leckies, cool, go for it. But you can also use these. They work as well. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go on to the camera gear. Okay, this is my camera setup. This is a Sony a6400 with a Rode Video Micro microphone. And I attached a small rig, little attachment there so I can keep it off to the side. Absolute beast this camera was, super lightweight and fantastic. The tripod I used was one of these really cheap plastic tripods, and I just put it on the side of my Osprey and it worked really well. This is a cell phone attachment that I highly recommend because a lot of the cell phone footage that I got I can make static by just sticking it right on the tripod. This is a 7 Artisans lens, and 35 millimeter, and it was a wonderful, beautiful, crisp lens that I thoroughly enjoy. This Peak Design camera clip right here goes right on your pack, and it was completely stable, and this kind of allowed me not to have to take my camera out of my pack all the time to get a shot. I could just leave it out right on this thing. Lovely. ND filter by Gobi, really great. This is one of those little wipies. This was really important because there was a lot of dust out there. You're out in the wilderness. What do you expect? So really important to have one of these. Someone told me about putting silica gel packets in your camera bag to help keep the moisture out. And I have to say, there was no moisture in there. So I suppose it works. And it all hung out and lived right in this Eagle Creek little carrier bag right here, which I really liked. I started out with it as kind of like an attachment on my chest, but then I changed to just putting it right in the top of my bag, either under my food bag or on top of my food bag, depending, but right at the top of my pack. So there it is. That was my camera setup. And everything included with the batteries and everything, it was, I believe, 6.5 pounds, which is a lot of weight to bring with you, but seeing the documentary that we were able to make out there, highly worth it. Okay, I think that's it. I know there's probably some detail, some little piece of gear that I forgot, but you'll find that out for yourself. So please just get out there, take your first steps, know that the trail will provide, and as the lovely Mighty Bones told me, die with memories, not dreams. So please get out there. Don't wait until it's too late to make this thing a reality. You have it in your power to do it. So again, thank you for watching. Please check out the PackAndSoul documentary, and I hope to see you all out on trail real soon.